Hey everyone, this is Harbinger, and today we're going to be discussing about the German Tier 6 destroyer, Ernest Gaede. I'm not sure what the pronunciation is, but that's how I pronounce it, so apologies to any German people watching this. The Gaede is a very unusual ship for its line in that it has really strong and amazing guns, and the torpedo equipment is not bad. The good thing is it reloads faster than its counterparts from other countries at the same tier. The torpedoes are slightly weaker than those at the US and of course the Japanese lines. So, what the basic question is, what what is the role? If you are playing this ship, what is your role in the team? Unlike say the Fubuki or the Hatsuharu or even Warspite, where the function is to deal out as much damage as possible and to see big numbers popping on your screen with glee. The role of the Gaeda is a little different. The Gaeda is primarily destroyer hunter, and you're going to be using a lot of AP shells on destroyers because it just does such a ton of damage on them. You just melt destroyers like a proper Soviet cruiser. The guns are so good. Let's just take a look at the guns. The guns are about 150 and it has four, two in the front, two in the back. It also has a very decent speed and a substantial pool of hit points that are among the largest at its tier. Apart from that, I think the torpedoes are pretty much what the US destroyers or the Soviet destroyers would have at this tier. The range is longer than the Soviet destroyers, obviously, but it's comparable to the US and a lot less than the Japanese ones. The anti-aircraft is okay, but it's a destroyer. What do you expect? The surface detection is decent, which is good because it provides you with a window to launch your torpedoes without being seen, which is something that is so crucial, and you'll find it even more critical once you start playing Russian DDs if you haven't already. So let's go to the equipment real quick. The equipment over here, since you're going to be doing a lot of damage with your guns, so the Travis makes a lot of sense here. The second module has to undoubtedly be the turning, the Travis acceleration, because with the Gaede, what you have is very rapid acceleration, and it stops really quickly. So you don't need the acceleration module over here, but it could do a lot in the department of maneuvering. So I think this is the way to go. And the third is to just improve the concealment a bit, so that it gives you a tactical advantage, especially when using sonar. You could go with the Traverse here as well, just to make it more maneuverable. But I find that concealment gives me more value in that it allows me to launch surprise attacks since I don't have smoke. So the one thing in Gaede that you need to understand is that there is no destroyer at tier 6, tier 5 or tier 7 that can match your guns. There's no destroyer which you are going to be facing. However, and there's no battleship against which you need to feel afraid, because you'll be a lot more maneuverable than most battleships, and when played even moderately with even a moderately skilled by even a moderately skilled player, it's very difficult for battleships to target this ship. So you can just zip around the map and not worry about battleships too much, just torpedo them and move on. Your enemies are cruisers. It's true for any destroyer, but with Ernest Gaede, sort of get the temptation to take the cruiser head on, because you seem to have cruiser like guns. The TS6 Budioni has 152, the Aoba has 203, so that's overmatching. But do not take a cruiser. That's my suggestion. Do not take a cruiser one-on-one. If you have a supporting ship, yes, definitely go for it. As you'll see in my first video of gameplay, do not take a cruiser head-on unless you're supported by another cruiser, or even better, a battleship. Resist the temptation. Your guns are good, but not that good. So with that being said, let's jump into the gameplay. So let's see the Gaede in action. The first game, I think we're going to be up-tiered. There will be tier 7 ships as well. Let's just wait and see. Yes, see, there's the Nagato, there's the Scharnhorst. We are being up-tiered here, and the things you've got to watch out for is Sims and Minsk. They're 2 tier 7 destroyers. Now the Sims has very good concealment. The Minsk is really fast. It doesn't have that great a concealment, and its torpedoes are really short, but it's really, really fast. So let's see. Okay, the map is the one with the central area, which means that... Now the one thing which I don't understand here is that most of the players, what they do is they don't actually capture the area. They just straddle it from the side, trying to flank it. And that's good when you're doing it in a battle. That's good when you're doing it in a destroyer, but don't do it in a battleship. And as you'll see, there'll be a player who's doing that later on in the game. Another thing that I just mentioned here: please buy a basic camouflage. Don't be a cheapskate. Please buy a basic camouflage. It does your ship a ton of good things, and it also, you know, makes you seem like not a noob player. Just buy a basic camouflage. Do your team a favor and do that. So I'm capturing the area here, and surprisingly, Minsk is perhaps the fastest tier 7 ship. Yeah, it's even faster than the Akatsuki, but he didn't capture the area. So a cruiser is much more visible. Now see, I told you not to take on cruisers, but here my team is right behind me, so I feel very comfortable firing at that New Orleans. And he realizes it, and he's trying to... Oh, there's the Minsk. He's woken up, and he's trying to hide behind the rock and trying to capture the area, but it's too late. We've already done that, so he's gonna have to do something extraordinary to get out of there and capture it. And he's turning, and oh, he's coming back. So yeah, he's just eating a ton of steel, and there you go. And he's trying to seek the cover of the rock, which he will in a minute. And if you look at the mini-map now, see, take a look. On the right side of the mini-map, what is that cruiser doing? He's trying to flank it, but he's evidently not very good at it. He's just stuck somewhere, and his ship is going nowhere. He's not contributing to the battle. He's not trying to capture the area. He's just stuck in a corner. And that's what I've seen so many players doing nowadays. Don't do that. This is a team game. Don't YOLO. This is not even YOLOing. I don't know what this is. And the Minsk comes out and eats a ton of steel, and he realizes it. So I popped my sonar, which you'll see was a good move, since there's a Sims also somewhere. I told you the Sims has a good concealment. He's still not on my sonar, but there were torpedoes going in both directions. The one was from Minsk, and the other was from the Sims. So I'm just checking the mini-map to see the location and positioning of other ships, and just in case the Minsk decides to rush ahead, I pop my torpedoes. It's not so much as a killing strategy, and he's dead. He died in the middle of a turn like the Hood. unfortunately. So the torpedoes I launched were not so much to kill the Minsk, but to ensure that he doesn't rush towards my BBs. It was like creating a wall. So the Nürnberg is coming up. And you'll see in a while, you'll see the Sims also pop out. He was also here, and there he is. What he did was right. The intention was good, but I think he came out at the wrong time. He should have waited a few more seconds until I was in a position where I couldn't back out from. Now see, with the Gaede, you always have to constantly try and accelerate and then stop, decelerate, reverse. That is how you make Gaede a very difficult target to the enemy. The Sips was finding it hard to target me, and a battleship long reloads if he misses a salvo. And we've started lagging, unfortunately, and in a minute you'll see me lose a kill because of it. And come on. Yeah, there you go. The skill should have been mine, but since I started lagging, yeah, I lost it. So there's another gameplay, which, yes, here we are. I'm targeting the Hatsuharu here and the König. The König, unfortunately, is clueless as to whether to attack, so he's just straddling towards the side, towards the corner, and he'll try to get behind that rock to protect my 150 shells, which are steadily depleting his HP. So now look behind the rock. In a minute, look behind the rock. The Hatsuharu has smoked himself to escape the shells of New York. If you're a destroyer, you don't smoke yourself against a battleship because you can easily evade their shells. It just takes forever to reach you, especially the USN ships. So he smoked himself, and now he's faced with a destroyer which has sonar and 150 guns, and he doesn't have anything except for a mild speed boost. He doesn't have the smoke, he doesn't have anything. And you will see in a minute, he very wisely tried to weave out of the way of my torpedoes, which I think he does brilliantly. And instead of accelerating, which I thought he would, he turns and then inexplicably launches his torpedoes at a time and a position that is to my advantage. I can easily evade his torpedoes. The tables have turned again. I have my guns. His torpedoes are in cooldown. My torpedoes are in cooldown, and I melt him. So that's how you play the Gaede. If you were playing the Gaede like this, using mainly your guns, you play it like a light cruiser. So that is how you play the Gaede. The one last thing that I wanted to talk a bit about was the commander skills. I mainly have a 5-point skill commander for the Gaede, primarily because most of my skill commanders are on tier 9, tier 8 German ships like the Bismarck and Tirpitz and Friedrich de Grosse. So I think the first 5 are pretty evident. I think these are the ones you should take simply because of the steering gear repair time is so crucial. The extra sonar will do you a lot of good. I think for every German build, you should take the second skill. Then this is the third one is to capture the area faster. Then obviously you're going to be killing a lot of destroyers, so you can recover HP from it. Then obviously you'll get more HP because you have a larger pool. This skill actually is useful only for ships that have a larger health pool in their tier. So if you take it for like say a Fubuki, it's not going to do you a lot of good because Fubuki does not have a substantial pool of hit points itself. Now the 6th skill will obviously be the extra sonar duration. This, if you choose to stick with it and you like it and you choose to keep it, you'll eventually get your commander to a tier 8 or tier 9 skill. So you could use the 10% repair kit cooldown over here, because you'd be indulging in a lot of gunfights with destroyers. Then you need to take at tier 8 the adrenaline rush, which will give you main battery reload. This skill just works so well for Gaede, I can't tell you. I've seen players using the skill. They prefer the Gaede have a lower HP so that these skills kick in, and when they're done with killing the destroyer, they just use their heal. They keep the Gaede at 50% health. They don't really don't let the Gaede go above that health, simply because this skill can kick in when they're fighting. If the off chance that you end up with a Gaede with a command at tier 9, you can take either the demolition expert or the engine accelerator duration, depending on your gameplay. With the demolition expert, you'll do a ton of damage to the guns and torpedo tubes of destroyers at your tier, or you can evade their torpedoes using the engine expert. I don't think you should waste battles trying to get a Gaede commander to tier 10, but if you do, I think the only thing you can take over here is the Honor Seeker. I'll leave the tier 11 and tier 12 to your discretion, but I think this should be the commander skill built for the Gaede. So that's it. That's my guide for the NS Gaede. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments. This is my first video, so if it seems a bit raw, please excuse me. If you do like it, be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe, because I'll do a lot more videos, and the content will be purely audience driven. Tell me what ship you want to see next. If you like this, what other aspects do you want me to talk on, and I'll try to do them for you. All right, that's it. See you next time. Bye bye.